Hi, my name's Shawn. That guy down there is my friend Chris Ford, aka the Objective Geek of YouTube and Twitter semi-fame, or fame. I don't remember what our threshold was. Your call, really. And we are glad to be back in 2021. I think not that I think it's 2021. I think that we're glad to be back. I'm 50-50 on that one as well. But we're glad to be back here regardless with our first episode of 2021. Chris, how have you been so far since Christmas? It's been a long time since we've talked.
I feel like it has been a long
At
time. It's
least
probably been like
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
and also I'm not the quickest on responding to stuff either.
life is busy. I operate
Thing
under the
is,
presumption that not everyone gets to spend every waking minute with Gmail pulled up at work like I do.
I mean, I would like to make that excuse, but sometimes my excuse is that I try to think of something and then something else happens, I get distracted. Maybe that's an excuse. Maybe it's just like I just didn't get to it. Good thing is I'm consistent. Like I'm worse with my siblings. Like I don't text back quickly on things.
I would
Um,
never tell my siblings this, but there's one sibling that I text back immediately all the time, like it's a constant stream, and the other ones I just kind of ignore for the most part. But they don't listen to
mm,
this, so that's going to be fine. And I will also say that you are in the majority. Most people operate more like you do and less like I do. I literally have Gmail pulled up all day, and I talk to my wife all day. She also doesn't respond that much. If that makes you feel any better. But I have a record of it if I type it down here. But it's been at least 3 weeks.
yep. No, it's been good. Really, I just been moving. Christmas wasn't a big deal. Didn't go anywhere. Didn't get anything for Christmas. So, always I, s- I buy myself a lot of stuff
Yeah.
anyway. Um, so no, I'm good on Christmas. Um, just been moving to a new house. Been doing a lot of shelving action figures and statues and stuff. So you can see this is the first episode in the new. Yeah, it has been a while. Yeah, it must have been 3 weeks
It was
because
at
I've been
least
living here
3.
for almost 3 weeks.
At
Yeah.
least, yeah. Was in you what am I trying to say? I had a question and it was right on the tip of my tongue and now it's gone. Oh, what did you get yourself for Christmas? Because I know you don't have Christmas presents, but there's usually like a thing, I feel like. Maybe I'm
I
wrong.
mean, I've gotten myself a lot of stuff in the past month, which is why it's difficult to shelve everything because everything used to have its place, but now I have like a whole new shelf worth of things. Like this, I have a box full of stuff that's new, like this Aquaman action figure, a statue over there, a bunch of stuff, like just a lot of action figures. I want to buy. Oh, I've been buying a lot of action figures lately, like brand new action figures. Usually I buy used action figures, but I bought this. That was pretty cool. Actually, I bought this some time ago. This isn't the
Looks
thing I'm
sick.
thinking of. All right, this is from the Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie that came out.
Looks
This
awesome.
is Shredder and
I
Ra's
think
al Ghul.
I think we did a review on that movie if I remember right. Somewhere down there.
Yeah, we talked about it before. And then I believe it was Rudy that put me on to these NECA toys. So I bought this. It was $50 at Walmart.
Oh, that's
I
sick
usually
though.
don't. Oh no, it's great. Like this Shredder action figure looks amazing. And now I want all the other turtles, although it'll probably be like $130 if I actually went to buy them like off of eBay or something.
Outrageous.
Which
But maybe
that cost per turtle is more than I'm usually willing to spend for a single action figure.
for a turtle. You just say for a turtle, for a plastic turtle. No, it's
Yeah,
probably not plastic. It we don't
that's plastic.
interact with Rudy quite as frequently as some of our other listeners, but every time we interact with him, I realize that his range of interests is wider maybe than ours potentially. He seems like he is into everything and knows things about everything, and I really dig that. Thanks, Rudy, for putting Chris up to more stuff.
Or no thing. Because I'm just, because now I'm like, oh, I want to collect them. Oh, and yeah, before that's the thing about collecting. Like, you think, all right, I'm done for now, and then something else pops up. And you're like, all right, I want it.
You're never done. You're never
Yeah,
done. I feel bad because I mean I don't feel bad. I try to be grateful, but I had like an oddly good Christmas from a childish gift perspective. So like mid November, my mom came down with coronavirus, and kids, that stuff is serious.
Oh,
So and she got pneumonia at the same time. Like it was a bad deal. Um,
holy
but
crap!
but she So she tells me at least that she got really good at bargain shopping when she was in bed because it kept her
Did,
mind
did she did
busy.
she did she tell you this like weeks after she had it? I feel like that's a.
No,
Oh,
she
okay.
we had
Well, I guess you
intended to
can.
do some kind of something on Thanksgiving. Like the weather was nice. We hadn't really decided.
Yeah.
We have our family's on a farm. We have a shed, garage. We're thinking about things to do for Thanksgiving. And so, but she was like around my birthday. She's like, "Hey, if you don't get your birthday card, it's because your father doesn't send it because I have coronavirus and I'm not leaving the bed and he'll forget your birthday." It's like that's fair. But she like must have got really into bargain shopping online. So from a childish perspective, I got some great presents. And then my mother-in-law gave me Ring Fit Adventure, which I can't decide if that's a passive aggressive comment or not. I have put on a little weight this year during the pandemic. So it's weird to like, hey, it's 2020, but I had a great Christmas and I got lots of stuff. But I did try to stay grateful.
I mean, also, I mean, I've had a great, 2020. I'm not lie.
Like
Um,
in the personal level.
yeah, personal level. I'm concerned about the whole world and everything. Try to do my best to stop the spread of coronavirus. But personally, my 2020 was like one of my best years. I got a new job because I did not like the job I was at before. It was a dead end job working for a person who nothing against him, but I did not like working under him because I don't consider him. Uh, anyway, we both applied for the
The
manager
person
position.
I
I didn't
know
get
or the
it.
person I don't know?
I know you know him. That's Derrick. It's okay. Derrick's a fine person.
Oh, I got that's right. I forgot I
I
knew
just
both.
didn't.
I forgot I knew
Yeah, it was
both
just.
of them actually.
Um, and then so I was really like just really wanted a new job. Got a new job. It's great. Pays me way more money than well, I'd say way more. Pays me more money than my last job. Um, Probably more benefits and stuff. Had a baby. Bought a second house. Sold my first house um, pretty
It
quickly.
did make it sound
And
like you were just keeping it, like you bought a second
yeah,
house just luxuriously. I bought a summer home by the lake, and then we'll keep our
yeah.
other home in town.
My house is it's
I,
by a lake.
it's perfect.
Yeah. I can't wait till the spring to ride around the lake.
That'll be fun.
Ride my bike around the lake, not like ride a boat.
Oh,
I
not.
don't.
I actually have a surprisingly large inflatable raft. If you need, it's like 5 person, and you just not motor, no motor, or anything, just you and a couple of oars and a case of whatever food and beverage you want to bring in there. But it's like 5 people, and it's pretty comfy. Pretty comfy.
That sounds dangerous to me.
It's a lake. What's the worst that could happen?
Like, all right, kids, let's all get on this
I
inflatable
don't have child-sized
raft.
life vests, so you're gonna want to teach those youngins to swim before you get them on there. That's for sure. I don't have
Yeah.
little people life vests. Yeah, so I parallel 2020 and like I upgraded jobs, and then like I got to dedicate a room of my house to my nerd hobby and stuff. So oddly great 2020. But you can balance those things like being aware of life's issues
Yeah.
and trying to contribute in a positive manner, and then not try to pretend that good stuff happened to us. It's a weird balance, but it can be hit.
Yeah.
Um,
I hope you all had a great 2020. If not, I hope your 2021 is better. If your
yeah,
2020 was great, I hope your 2021 is still better.
always better, regardless.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting us have I mean, not that anybody could stop us, but nobody like gave us grief for taking a week off and essentially having a really short episode the other week, which actually had pretty good number of views. I was kind of pleased with that. That's kind of fun. Um,
Oh, I forgot to mention on that. There was one wish that I didn't put on that right after I recorded. I wish I put it on. It was an announcement for like an open world Avatar game. That would be really, really cool.
I thought that was on the what? Let me think about this. It was a fan made game that is expected to be done, but it for being a fan made game, it is essentially a very large open world game, and it was built in
It's
that
it's
PlayStation
almost
4
too
dev
good.
environment.
Yeah, it's almost too good that I think they might come after him.
That tends to happen, unfortunately. I definitely could see Viacom doing that. That is not above, or what? That's not beneath them. Excuse me,
Yeah.
to do that. I don't have a PS4. I've never tried it. Have you?
No. I know you could just try. I don't try. You can just try random things.
I don't know enough about the PS4, but there is like some kind of environment or software in there where people can develop games, and that person's game is built in whatever that is. So I was under the presumption that it was just like a free indie title developed in whatever that service or
Uh,
software was.
I don't think he's done. Yeah.
I don't either. But that's, an open world Avatar game would be excellent. We might have to settle for an open world Harry Potter game. My
I would like
wife,
an official Avatar game.
that
No,
would be
nothing
nice.
against that guy.
No, he's doing great work until it gets caught. No, it looks great. If I had a PS4, it looks good enough
It
that
does. It looks good.
I would actively try to find it. It looks like my kind of game. I'm really excited. My wife's so excited about the Harry Potter game that she might want another console like of her own accord. I did not have any part in this. She just liked how it looks. I don't remember what it's called. Hogwarts
Is that only for the PS5?
Legacy? It's a few things. Like it might even be PS4 or was slated for
Okay.
PS4 and
Just
PS5.
tell her it's just the PS5
It's only
to try.
PS5. I
Yeah,
don't
to
even
try and get
know.
her to get a PS5.
I don't know which I'd get. Would you go PS5 or have you gone? I haven't even. Would you
No,
go?
I don't plan on getting a PS5 until I actually need to, which isn't for like another year or two probably. They've been doing backwards compatible stuff for they did it for the Spider-Man Miles Morales game. They're gonna do it for a couple other things. So
Yeah.
I'm not that excited for the PS5. The graphics look marginally better than than PS4 graphics. Like there wasn't a big jump in improvement enough to warrant me being really excited for the next gen consoles.
It's not. I'm always excited for new video games, but there's nothing. There's nothing, and there. It's always this way at launch. There's never enough there around launch to entice me. It's usually a little bit in before I say, "Oh, I would probably get a PS4 over an Xbox One because of the Dragon Quest games or whatever." Like it's usually a year or two before I even know what I would
Oh, I'm not
want.
going back to Xbox ever. I don't think.
I
I had
didn't know
an
you ever
Xbox
had an Xbox.
360, and it was a good system, but I didn't play any first party games, and I was kind of missing out on some PlayStation 2 stuff, PlayStation 2,
3.
PlayStation 3 stuff, and uh, and so and I don't care for any of the Xbox exclusives. Like they're not, I don't know, they don't speak to me at all, unless there is some rumors that was it? Oh, Microsoft wanted to buy, I think WB Montreal, which is the gaming developers for all
Yeah,
the WB games,
and that would be
Batman,
really big because doesn't
DC stuff.
WB do so? Not for us specifically, but in general, that would be huge because of the Lego games. Those are
Hmm,
all WB, right?
I think so.
So that would be just a huge move in general. I'm still obsessed with my Switch. I think I have a problem. I think I own 70 Switch games, give or take,
70?
something like that.
70?
Yeah, I think there's more than 60. There's more than 60 on those shelves because I can count
I
20
have
on a shelf.
I have five.
I I
I
have
think I got my Switch after you.
what's that?
I meant before you. And I think I got the Switch before you.
I think we were very close. I was
Yeah, I think so.
probably 3-ish years ago from right now.
Maybe I wasn't that.
It was pretty close to
Maybe
us, wasn't it?
maybe you got it before I did.
It could have
Oh,
been.
wow.
I got it used, and when I got it, it came with like 2 or 3 games. But basically, I loved it right away. So every holiday or excuse since I have asked for specific games for the most part. Wife comes through because guess what? She also likes the Switch. Way weirder selection of games than I do because she doesn't like Digimon or Yu-Gi-Oh. But she does like the Switch. By the way, Digimon and Yu-Gi-Oh games on the Switch, two of my favorite games. Not on the Switch, two of my largest time wasting games ever. Love them both. Fun fact about Shawn. I don't know if you want to like kick off with any weird kick off with any like 2021 New Year's resolutions or stuff. That's not really my thing, but I figured if you had something in mind, we could talk. Otherwise, we can just jump in the episode. Your call, really. I don't know how you want
Um,
to start the new year.
yeah, I never do New Year's resolutions, honestly, because I'm just like, all right, if you want to do something, just start it and do it now. Nothing against people who set goals and stuff for themselves,
No,
but
if you, I mean, goals, that's a way, like, you're visualizing what you're trying to do. I think that's always helpful. I don't really set New Year's resolutions, but I will admit that I have played a fair amount of Ring Fit Adventure. I took the hint.
I gotta get started on that. I've not done
It
any working out for a while, although I have a nice gym area in my new man cave. That's that I feel like I'm gonna use just because it's like perfectly put in here. It's like indoor gym, like everything's there that you would need to get in shape.
You already have a treadmill, right?
Yeah, lost
Um,
many pounds on that treadmill.
we moved everything in this room over just so I could have like 6 feet of space over here to play Ring Fit Adventure while still watching TV. I will say that game is like it's better music away from being like an almost passable actual game more than just a gimmick, which is high praise for a gimmick,
Yes,
if
yeah, I
that
think
makes
that
any
that's what they're
sense.
going for.
Yeah. It's better music away. Their music is just such like generic repetitive garbage that it actually bugs the hell out of me. I turn it down and I turn up TV. But if like, can you imagine if it had actual? I wouldn't say licensed songs, but like a real dedicated soundtrack instead of just repetitive nonsense.
Yeah,
I don't know how much time they
I
spent
think
with it.
I think they can use. I would like to see Nintendo develop the Ring Fit more because I think it has a great. Uh, it has great feedback, great pickup. Like, and it, it can measure that pressure between two things really well.
It's
I
very
think it can
responsive.
just have more applications, but I feel like they're just going to use it for Ring Fit Adventure. They're not going to use it for any games outside of that.
I do too, which is a shame because I do actually like it. When I first saw it, I was like, "That's stupid. How can that?" But like, no, it has a really good progressive amount of resistance, and it seems to pick it up
Mhm.
really well. I generally enjoy ish as much as I can enjoy exercise. I just can't get over how much I hate the music for being a Nintendo product. Like you could slap repetitive Nintendo first party songs in there just with no rhythm or cadence that matches the gameplay or anything. I still wouldn't
You
care.
can play some games like that, right?
I've played some of the rhythm games in there, but there's still just the music is still just like a very
Yeah.
bland
But I thought they
Nintendo
had
version
like
of
a
elevator
couple
music.
Nintendo games. I mean, a couple like actual Nintendo. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
Uh, maybe I could be missing something. I've
I might be thinking of Mario Party.
That sounds accurate. I know Mario Party's got like snippets of other video
Yeah.
games in them, like of classic games and things. I don't know. That's not in my Switch collection. Surprisingly, um,
Look, we're rambling on. We're 18
too
minutes.
too expensive. Yeah, the we should probably get on because this is an episode that
I have to put in a timestamp for this one.
this is an episode that merits uh our full respect. So yeah, okay, let's jump into Book 1, Air. Legend of Korra, Book 1, Air. Chapter 12. This is the season 1 finale. It's called Endgame. So, for like the quick recap, like the last week on Korra, we just heard Tarlok's story. And now what are they doing? They're about to essentially try to bust Amon at his own. I keep wanting to think of it as a conference, like they're business people, but they're not. What the hell would I call it? Rally? They're about to try to bust Amon at his own rally at the end of the previous episode.
Sounds familiar. It's like 'cause
It's very
when
timely.
when uh when I was thinking about like this episode and how you're going to introduce it, I was thinking about just like interrupting and be like, "Welcome to the season finale review of America," and then just. But it wasn't a good spot for me to do it, so I
I'm
didn't.
sorry. You got to tell me beforehand. I'll set you up somehow.
It's okay.
It had a similar vibe though, except for in the
I mean,
TV show it was more businesslike. It was more polite.
You gotta laugh to keep from worrying about the downfall of your country.
Hey, you know what? To be fair, since that day, was that 1 day or 2 days ago? Just one full day?
Wednesday?
Was that Wednesday? So
Yeah, I
since
think so.
that day, things have taken a dramatic, good turn or dramatic, positive. Uh, what am I?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's fair to say that. Not that you're ignoring potential problems in the future, but things have turned since that day in a very good way.
Yeah.
Anyway, rally
Uh,
crashing.
yeah. So Korra's plan is to expose Amon for the liar he is, that he is actually a waterbender and bloodbender, and that'll make all the people um, turn against him. So they go to his rally, and of course Amon is. I do like how when Korra um, uh, exposes him, like you see that facial expression of Amon, and how he's still not like fully worried when he hears his name, but there's a little hint when he hears his name Noah talk, or he doesn't hear his name Noah talk all that much. Like he hasn't heard his name Noah talk since he left um, his brother and mother and
He
father.
played it off pretty cool, but they did a nice job of implying some
Yeah.
surprise there.
You know what I noticed today? What was I doing with that? This has to do with Avatar. If that makes any difference
We're
to
not going back
anybody.
to Christmas presents.
No. Dang it, I don't. I deal with it. I saw it here. Oh, there it is. Okay. Because I bought Legend of Korra pops.
Naturally.
Right. Um. So here's the name, Amon. Right. And you flip it over, it's Noah.
What? I didn't know it. Like, you flipped it over, and I was like, now, eh? What are you talking
I
about,
thought,
Chris?
I thought that. Hey, yeah. Still, I mean, this doesn't make any sense still, but it's
No, that's close enough to be fun.
close enough to be. Yeah.
I just didn't get it at first.
Because reading, I was like, wait, Noah. But you know how your brain can, even if a letter is upside down, you will still read it.
Picks up the right things.
I was like, holy crap, Noah talk. And I'm pretty sure that's not at all
Wouldn't it be cool though if
what
you
they.
like used like 3D glasses and you looked at the side of it there and it was like a TOK at the end? I don't think you do the cereal box things like that anymore on packaging, but man, do I miss
Yeah.
those days.
Anyway, Korra fails at exposing him because he then takes off his mask and he says that he was burned by firebenders. And then, and then they're pretty much like, all right, well, we can't do anything else. Let's leave. And then it turns out, and Mom's like, no, you will stay and watch the big show. He brings out the airbending kids, which apparently they didn't get away. Lynn's sacrifice um, was in vain. Still great sacrifice. Nothing takes away from that.
She gave the max.
Yeah. Uh, man, I feel like I'm missing a lot of stuff here. Wait. Maybe I.
Not
We'll
so
keep going.
far, no. I think he does he give her the opportunity to like come down and face him or the kids get.
Hey, a minute. Did when do they?
It's been like 2 weeks
Oh, wait,
since I
this.
watched the episode. Forgive me.
I was like, I watched the episode yesterday, but for some reason not. Where does the scene come when? No, she fights him there. That never mind. Never mind. I'm on track now. Okay, I was I was trying to think about when Korra is like fighting these airships and stuff. That was in the previous episode, at least
Mm-hmm.
the one before that. One of those
Yep.
episodes. Um,
I'll say that was
okay,
10.
so then, no, Amon's plan is to take away the bending of all the airbending kids, and then there'll be one bending down. Then there'll be no more airbenders. Which I would kind of like them to. I kind of would have liked them to do a different plan, right? Just because it almost contradicts his calls. Because he was saying like, bending has caused war upon wars and wars. It's like, yeah, man, the last war wiped out the airbenders, which is what you're trying to do.
You should at least like save those guys for last or something. As he
Yeah,
was
yeah,
doing it,
save them for last.
as he
And
pulled
they're
the kids up on
peaceful.
stage
They
and he made the comment about you're about to witness the last Airbender, and I did that thing. I was like, oh, I said the name. So excited. I forget how I worded it exactly, but it was pretty close.
um yeah. I mean, I don't know what the thing is. Oftentimes in like movies and stuff, when the villain's plan escalates greatly, and I don't know, not that that's a good thing. I just don't know where he will go from here. Right? You can't really be like, well, now I've made a machine that will equalize everyone. Like that's in a typical Hollywood blockbuster. That's what would happen.
He's like
That
Zuko. He
technology.
doesn't think these things through. Hashtag Iroh.
I mean, I guess I'm fine with this with his plan here because one bidding will now be eliminated from the world.
It's the
And go
highest
from there.
stakes group of people that he kind of has to work with at this
And
point.
it is in the viewpoint of the audience, it's high stakes. It's very high stakes because that's Tenzin and the airbending kids. Like we've fallen in love with them to a certain extent. Um, anyway, so Korra and Mako attacks them. Oh, I'm sorry.
The
Big yawn.
episode is really exciting, we promise.
There's a lot of great animation in this episode. So Mako attacks, and then they end up kind of running after each other. And pretty much it's down to, I don't know what happens. At one point, Korra's running, she's hiding underneath a table or something, and Amon's in there, and he senses her, and he is about to take her bending away. And then Mako intervenes, and then he uh, knocks out Mako, or he pushes him aside, and then he finally gets Korra and takes her bending away. And that was a pretty huge moment, I think, right? Because as an audience person, you're like, all right, Korra, all right, Avatar, save. This is when you take over. This is when you take over. Save her, save her, save her. Something's going to happen. And nope, bending's taken away, which I think is a great storytelling because it increases the stakes even more so. It's like, nah, this stuff is real. Like, you're putting this character through something here.
I know it sounds dumb, but at this point, or at least when I guess I might be jumping ahead too far, but I had kind of forgotten that she didn't airbend. And so then when things turn, it was like a pleasant surprise. Like, oh yeah, that's right. I don't
Yeah.
like they don't make a huge deal of it throughout. I mean, I can't think of the last time where she's had like any exhibition of like I can't airbend. You know this. They don't really make a huge deal of it to this point, do they?
I mean, they do, especially early on. Probably in the previous 4 episodes, they don't really mention the airbender part, except for when Tarlok attacks, or Tarlok tells her she's a half-baked avatar.
That's
Which,
right.
yeah,
Yep. It doesn't seem like it's, but it's also a product of us watching these over the course of multiple months too. That sort of when the tides turn back the other way, I was just kind of excited. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that's how that worked. That's nice.
yeah. Um, I guess we're not really to the. All right, we'll pick up. We'll drop that part for now and go back to Sato's prison. Um, so Sato has captured. What happened? Because they were attacked. Oh yeah, I love this part. So Asami, Bolin, and General Ira II was going to their base when the airplanes were coming up. And Asami was like, "There's fence posts, but no fence. That's weird." And they just walk into it and get zapped. I don't know why I laughed at that, but
I
it
did
wasn't
too.
meant to be funny. But
It worked.
yeah. And Hiroshi captures them and ties them up, and this is it's really interesting. I don't want to talk too much about this because I want to really wait till we get to it in season 4. But it's really interesting watching Hiroshi and Asami's relationship be destroyed in this season and compare that to the end of the series and where their relationship is at there. John, do you remember what happened at the end of book 4?
Not at all, but I know from
Okay.
I didn't want to spoil, but when we did our dad's episode,
Yeah.
was it dad's?
Yeah, I figured so. Yeah.
I at least had to look at like the top line to get some context. I know there's redemption, and that he comes around, but I can't remember specifically what happens now.
Okay, good. That's enough. Um, yeah, and then Pabu and Naga come to help them, which Pabu and Naga are very helpful, especially Pabu. Maybe mention that compared to Momo, which Momo was helpful half the time, but Pabu I feel like is helpful all the time.
I'm gonna give Momo like 40% on a good day.
Yeah.
Remember the episode where they're pretending to be earthbenders? They get caught and thrown in prison. And so Momo's like behind the boulders, so when Aang uses the vent to airbend it up, and they're like, that lemur is earthbending.
Yeah.
Sokka's like,
Like,
no,
no,
it's
the girl, you idiot. Oh,
It's one of my favorite stupid. Like, it's not clever, but it gets me every
oh
time.
no, it's great. So then, so they attack back. Bolin is ripping up the place. It's a really great character fight scene between Asami and her father, which I just love the difference between this scene. Like they're both in a kind of a mech suit, and all these wires and stuff around them. And again, if you just juxtapose that with the last scenes that they're in together, they're both in like a mech suit type of deal. It's a completely different situation.
It looks like the mech suit on the front of BioShock. That's what it makes me think of.
Yeah.
It's a really good mech fight. Like it doesn't fit in the choreography of previous fights that we've had because it's not really smooth and full of beautiful martial artistry. It moves and is animated very extremely well, and it's a great fight. And I love when, again, kind of when the tides turn is when Bolin's just hurling boulders at Sato, and he's like, "Mr. Sato, you're a bad father," or something, or just something very.
You're the worst father ever.
That's what it is. But that turns the tides of the fight and lets Asami get the jump on her father's neck. Flings him across the room, right? But then he gets out and runs, and that's when she delivers her really sad line of like, "You really are the worst dad."
Yeah. Oh, great. And Asami is such an underrated character, I think. I think she's gone through a lot of character development and a lot of great character stories. And it's really done in the background. And maybe that's why it's not as, I think, appreciated as it should be. I think in rewatches, her character really shines, especially compared to like Mako and Bolin, who are more so up front.
At this point, I agree, but I think at least with maybe by people it doesn't change by watchers like us, but like by the end of the show, by the last season of Korra, for what I remember, it feels like she's getting her due in a good way or getting spotlight attention. But by watchers in general,
the character herself is appreciated mostly because by the end of the show, she's she's in a relationship with Korra, which was groundbreaking, and so many people love that ship, and they should. I love the ship. But I feel like even still, her character arc itself isn't as well appreciated. The character is very well appreciated.
Yeah. I agree entirely, at least from what little I've watched now and what little I remember. And this is she's already had multiple episodes, but this hit pretty hard.
Yeah.
Felt bad for her as she was like, whatever that weapon is called that she fired that like ties up his feet. And so I was kind of laughing because
bola?
It's like the idea of shooting one of those at your old man father from a mech suit. And so I was kind of chuckling, and then she delivered her line. I was like, oh, I should laugh.
I ruined it. All right. So then General Iroh II, I love his scenes in this. This we did not the one crime, which I don't like to. Sometimes I hear when fans are like, I hate that so and so didn't do this. Like it was a shame or it was a crime. I'll never forgive them for doing this, for either omitting this character or whatever. I really do wish we saw more of General Iroh the second, because his scene and taking down airplane after airplane after airplane, just flying through the air. It's just some beautiful, absolutely beautiful animation. Like he was so BA. We could definitely have used more General Iroh the second. Maybe more in season 2. Make him go up against President even more, not just take orders. I don't know what exactly he would do in season 3. I mean, it's around. They're in Public City a lot in season 3. Yeah. He could be in there. I just want more General Iroh the second, especially from what we got in this scene.
I don't remember it well enough, but is there any
So he's
nod given towards like really balancing how much we get of him and of Toph in these later seasons? Like we still get these snippets and they're really entertaining characters, but these kind of throwback, I'm going to call them throwback characters.
oh no, I mean General Iroh the second.
Yeah, but it's Dante Bosco. Like it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. I get what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, just the throwback look and feel to the previous, but like I mean, there's something to be said for not leaning on those too hard. Like if I remember right, I would like to have seen more Toph just because I like Toph and she's really funny as a cranky old lady when she's beating up on Korra and stuff.
Yeah.
But just not kind of leaning on those. I don't. It feels like throwback characters. Toph being literal and Dante Bosco in a separate way. But
I guess I get what you're saying. I still want more of them. But
I do too. I'd still watch more Toph and more General Iroh the second. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just trying to make a case.
Yeah. So and then he pretty much kind of single-handedly defeats a bunch of airships, and ends with him taking off a Mon statue. Which is like, who put that up there? Which I mean, I guess they have the technology to put up a statue. I mean, if they have metal, they don't have any benders. I don't know how they got the statue up there.
Put that up there, I'll take away your metal bending.
Yeah.
And then he takes it away anyway because he's a
Exactly.
terrible boss.
Yeah. So then we go back to the Korra versus Mon fight. Korra's bending has been taken away, and then that's when the lieutenant comes in. And I love this. It's a great scene with the lieutenant. He's like, "I saw you. Everything the Avatar said was true. I saw you blood bending. I believed in you. I sacrificed everything." Something to the sense of that.
I dedicated my life to you. I think
Yeah,
is what
dedicated
like
my-
it's
yeah,
really
exactly.
heavy.
I dedicated my life to you. Which I wonder would this be more interesting if they were like in a relationship together?
Hey,
Maybe
ship them. Why not?
Yeah. I think I've been really I've been thinking lately, just in movies and stuff, about how better a movie would be if two characters were like romantically involved. Which usually I'm not. Usually I don't do things.
That is the opposite
Like,
of how
don't-
I watch everything
Yeah.
ever.
Well, I blame Tenet. Because I watched Tenet and I was like, all right, at the end of the movie, I don't want to ruin the movie in case anyone want to watch it. But in the movie, I'm like, this movie would have been much better if these two characters was in a romantic relationship together. Like it would have added to the story, it would have added to some sacrifice, would have added some layers. And so I was just thinking like, oh, well, like the lieutenant being like, I dedicated my life to you. Like, nah, maybe I don't want them to be together. I don't know, whatever.
I'm gonna have to vet it through Jamie, resident ship expert.
Yeah.
No, hearing you say that about Tenet, the movie, not Lieutenant the character, sounds bad. Makes me not want to watch the movie Tenet. Like, oh, it's gonna make me think deep stuff and have feelings.
No, you won't. You will not think deep stuff in Tenet.
Okay. I couldn't even tell you what it's about. I saw that it was like popular on Netflix and glanced at the cover. I was like, nah.
That shouldn't be on Netflix.
Is it on? Is it Amazon Prime? It's hanging out somewhere.
I don't know, it's somewhere for rental. But
You know, it could have just
anyway,
been on my Nvidia Shield when it recommends movies, and then you have to click it
yeah,
to see where you can get it from. I bet that was it. But I hear people talk about it.
yeah, it's all right. It was way too loud of a movie, which brings me to one point about this episode. Before I forget, recently I feel like movies have the background music is way too loud. Like it's great music, but I feel like Legend of Korra in Avatar does such a great job of sound mixing and balancing the score and the dialogue while you get a full good sense of both. Well, I feel like sometimes other movies, and especially Tenet, all you're hearing is the background music, which makes the dialogue inaudible, and you have to put on the captions, which is
You're saying it's to the point where you can't hear people speak, like not just distractingly loud, but like,
you can't understand what they're saying.
holy crap! Was that on
It's
purpose?
I hope not.
Oh, oh my!
Like I had to watch the movie with subtitles.
That's embarrassing. Or at least gosh,
It,
I feel like it
yeah.
is.
No, yeah, it kind of.
Ew.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's really annoying.
Well, now I'm definitely not going to watch. I won't even watch good anime with subtitles, much less a serious movie.
Yeah. Anyway, so okay, that's right. So then, Amon pretty much says like, "And you served me well," and I'm pretty sure he kills this guy because why would he not kill him? Amon's in a killing mood right now. He has no reason to just. And also, he needs to kill Lieutenant. Lieutenant knows he's a bender, and so Lieutenant's definitely dead,
I
right?
won't say definitely, but I will say he meant to kill him. I can't, he kind of flings him over, like blood bends and flings him over into a stack of some things. It's like a towering
See,
set of rods, kind of.
to me, he's bending him, and you see his body contort, and then you see him relapse, and then thrown over. To me, that relapse part was the mom being like, "All right, I killed him, relapse, throw him away."
We kill him, relax. Let's make a scene of this. Savor it. Okay, I have no issue seeing that he is dead.
I mean, I
It's
don't.
just not. It wasn't graphic enough. It's not like he snapped his neck on this
Yeah,
cartoon.
no, they get very graphic later. They get some very definitive deaths
Yes.
later. Um, and okay, so then Amon's like, "All right, well, time take away." Mako's bending, and Mako is like already trying to make his next plan, and he shocks Amon before he can like bloodbend him, and which is a great scene. And he must have did this so subtly that Amon didn't pick up the movement because afterwards, he tries to escape with Korra. He's like has her in her hands and everything, and running away, and then Amon captures him, and Amon is like, you know, you must be a very strong bender. Like no one has gotten the better of me like this. So it'll be almost a shame to take your bending away. Almost a shame, which is really cool for Mako to do something that not many other people can do
It is,
or
but
have
what is he
done.
supposed to do with that compliment? Like, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've really been working on my technique.
Yeah. And then and he's about to take away he's about to take Mako's bending away, and then Korra. One thing I love about the scene is that Korra, when a mom's taking away Korra's bending, you're thinking to yourself, okay, do something. Something's going to happen. Either she'll go into the Avatar state or she'll learn airbending, and that'll protect her. And that didn't work. It was only when she saw, her friend in trouble that's what triggered her airbending. And I think that was a really good kind of emotional scene. Well, not emotional scene, but a really good character scene. And then she's like, I can airbend. And she airbends at a mom, which is a really great scene. And then this is one, sometimes we talk about Aang versus Korra fighting. This is one case that Korra defenders can use. Amon, who is the strongest bloodbender, probably the third strongest person in the whole entire series. Probably fourth strongest. Now I think about probably fourth strongest person in the whole entire unit that we've no, because there's the Avatar, there's the good Avatar, the dark Avatar, probably Yundun is probably the third strongest being we've ever seen, and then Amon. Um, and and uh, and so Amon is bloodbending her, and without the Avatar state, she breaks his bloodbending to airbend him out the window. Aang, against Yakone, who was probably a weaker bloodbender, had to use the Avatar state in order to break Yakone's bending. So, chalk one up for Korra.
I don't know if it depends on if they're in a closed arena or not. That's like the last episode of the podcast. I get really old and be like, all right, it's time to settle this. I do. I really like, and I kind of mentioned already. I really like that I'd sort of forgotten that she didn't know how to airbend at the time, but then also sort of builds in the lore of how bloodbending works, or how he was taking people's bending away essentially by kind of. Is it fair to describe it as like blocking specific chakras? And so, why block that chakra? Because she didn't have it right when he's bloodbending.
Yeah. You can't block something that's not there. You can't lock a door when there's no door there.
Hanging a lock on a wall, basically, yeah. So it kind of builds into that lore, and I thought that was kind of neat, like well designed from the beginning, and I really liked that part. And then most importantly, it was really satisfying to see him get blown out the window, literally.
It was
very fun. I laughed a little bit.
And then he's like about to drown, and he instinctively waterbends himself a funnel up, and everyone sees it and was like, "Oh, the Avatar was right," and they turn on him pretty quickly. Oh crap! Son's crying. Maybe he's not. I don't know. Anyway, and that's kind of the end at that point. One thing I love about this whole interaction is that oftentimes in shows, sometimes the male character becomes the knight in shining armor, and the woman becomes the damsel in distress. I think Avatar, the whole universe, does a really great job at balancing that. Like, yeah, this person saved this person, this person saves this person. Like, they're all equal. Because in this scenario, there's a point where Mako's carrying Korra away, and then he gets trapped, and he's about to have his bending taken away, and then Korra saves him. Like, there's a lot of give and take here.
It's not something, it doesn't flip it on its head to make a point. It just is very nice balance, very organically crafted. Feels right. Bolin and Asami earlier in that fight has a similar first, he saves her and then she saves him kind of deal.
Yeah.
So there's some after, that's the end of the action, so to speak, but then we got this delightful aftermath, which is Noah Tarlok out in his speedboat goes and grabs Noah Talk. Is that, I don't know if he picks him up. I kind of forget how that happens. Okay, so before we had to call a timeout, we were talking about, I don't remember exactly how it happens, but Tarlok and Noah Talk end up in a speedboat sailing off into what they think is safety, and Noah Talk putting on this grand speech about it, like, man, I haven't been called Noah Talk in a long time. Back together, we can do anything. And then, what I feel is the most shocking part of the whole episode is here. Personally, I think it is.
Oh, it's jaw dropping, which is one character coming into full-on remorsefulness. Redemption's hard, because to me, I wouldn't call it redemption, because I think redemption happens over time. It takes time to do that, but you can be remorseful pretty quickly. And when he tells Korra when Charlotte tells Korra last time they see each other, like in this sad story, he's truly remorseful at that point. He's like, this is, this was wrong and everything, that we have to stop him. And like, these are two brothers who who have been put on this path through little fault of their own. I mean, they own some responsibility for it, but it's the path their father put them on. Because hate just begets hate, begets hate, uh, and it's such a somber moment because Noah Talk, Amon is like we're Noah Talk and Tarlock back, just like the good old days, or that's not what he says, but he has a more like I have my family back, like you're the only thing I have left, because he has no followers left or anything like that, and Tarlock is like it would be just like the good old days. He reaches for a glove and electrocutes whatever. I don't know the science behind boats, but I assume that's a very important. I mean, it's inside the boat, so if you electrocute the water in there, it'll electrocute.
Well, it's a gas tank.
Oh, that's a gas tank?
Yeah, he just unscrews the fuel tank. Also, your microphone might have fallen off, Chris. Yeah, it's just a fuel tank. So he just unscrews it and zaps it, and
for some reason that's much worse. I didn't know that was a fuel tank.
No, I don't know a lot of boat science either, so don't quote me on that. That's my assumption.
Yeah. Yeah, and he and he he does, and they blow up. Very dramatic moment there.
There's
very
no question about that death whatsoever. I did not linger to think about it. It's very clear.
The interesting thing about that scene, I think, is that if you go in with this mindset, so before, Amon was able to see Korra, sense her location pretty easily, right? Amon can sense every ounce of water in your skin, and if he can feel his brother reaching for an electric glove, putting in the tank, he cries his tear right before, and his look, his expression, I think it's kind of hard to read. Maybe he knows that his brother is about to kill them both. But yeah, I don't know how the heck this got away on a Nickelodeon show, a murder-suicide. Like, how in the world is this show Y7?
My theory, and I don't prefer one over the other, and we'll never know, and that's how these things are supposed to be. I felt like Tarlock got away with what he was doing because they were in a large body of water traveling at a high speed. It's like, oh, maybe that fuzzes up his senses or something. It's hard for me to accept that somebody of Noah Talk's, I don't know if confidence is the right word, but whatever that chutzpah that he has,
conviction,
would let himself be killed like that. So I was trying to think of other ways that like he didn't sense it or pretended he didn't sense it or whatever. But either way, didn't matter. Same end result. He does have a tear, and we don't really know if that's a happy tear or a sad tear.
It's funny because it's kind of reminiscent of which you've only seen probably one time. At the end of book 3, Korra does this cry that is like, there's so many emotions in this one cry. It's so good.
I mean, that's its own kind of cry too, right? All the emotions. He's sad. He's happy because he's getting away. He's sad because he's lost, what he feels is kind of an empire to him, probably. So maybe it's everything. Or maybe it's because he knows he's going to die and he's letting it happen. I don't know.
Yeah. On the flip side of that, Korra, they're back in the Southern Water Tribe. Kachara tried to heal her, but nothing works. And Korra just wants to be alone. This is, she doesn't feel like the Avatar anymore, right? Which is some great character work. This is such a great first season. Such a great all-in-one story. She starts off this BA girl, the world in front of her, ready, pretty much hers to take over. And the one thing that makes her who she thinks she is, the Avatar, all that's gone. She's like, I'm not the Avatar anymore. Which, just being in elements isn't the only thing that makes you the Avatar, but to her self-image of herself, that's what it is. It's bending the elements. It's being, BA, being the best fighter, being all of that, and she's not that anymore.
If you consider like the later teens or even the earlier teens or whatever version of yourself too. It's like our self images were probably more narrow versions of the real
Yeah.
us too. Like that's part of growing up.
Yeah. And Mako tries to talk to her, whatever. And then she goes off on the cliff to be by herself, which I love this scene. There's just you just see
I do
this from the
too.
waist down, and you see this airbending wardrobe. Just like Tenzin said, I wanted to be alone. Or no, she didn't say Tenzin. I think she said, I told you I wanted to be alone. And he's like, but you called me here. And she's like, Aang. Which I mean, I guess she's been trying to reach Aang unsuccessfully. uh, and Aang's dropped some wisdom, some knowledge. It's like when we reach our lowest point, we're open to the greatest change, which is some great writing. And then you see all the avatars come out, which this part was spoiled for me when I first watched it by Nickelodeon's Facebook page. It's
Come
like the
on,
day
Nick.
after this premiere, not the day of. It was like, did you catch the finale of season 1 of Korra? And it was like all the avatars in the is that image of all the avatars. I'm like, what the heck? Like that's a moment that you savor.
That's so funny. Like you see that in the spoiler. I could have seen that just like generic image of all the avatars. All right, I'll just move on with my life. I have no sense of perception.
Which I always love, just new images of Kyoshi. That's all. Just give me more Kyoshi. Like when I was watching this time, I just like Kyoshi, my love Kyoshi.
She's super tall. I didn't even pay attention.
Nah, I mean, Golden Kyoshi's really not super. She's as tall as Roku. Actually, Roku's taller than her.
No kidding. Counting the bun or not counting the bun?
I believe not counting the bun. He's taller than her.
Interesting. Okay. It is a really cool moment, and it's about as like big of a payoff as you could possibly imagine. Like she goes from her lowest point, she's not the avatar, to now she is a fully realized avatar. Like she's no longer even got the half-baked label. Like she came out better.
Took a big step.
Yeah.
Mastered the. Not only did a day ago she was a half-baked, really 60% avatar, right? She had 3 of the 5 things that they make a person avatar, the 4 elements and mastery of the avatar state. Now she has 4 elements and mastery of the avatar state.
Yeah, she's in like new game plus mode here at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what? As far as I'm concerned, you could have ended it right here and it's fine. But no, we gotta have this stupid touchy moment with
I love it. I love it. More moments.
Whatever.
More moments.
The only thing that makes it good is the friendship tie earlier, bringing out the avatar state or the airbending. To me, in my mind, that's like the only thing that really makes it appropriate or good here is that tie earlier that made that possible. Otherwise, I could totally do without it here and not miss anything.
But I love her bring. Oh, I'm sorry. You're talking about the kiss.
Yeah, just the whole moment. I would have been more than happy just to see her like bend.
Yeah, whatever.
I would have been just to see her like go crazy on the bending and then just cut it off right there and just be like, oh, season 2 is gonna be crazy.
Yeah. Oh, that bending is great. I didn't even mention the bending. And the music,
solid.
Dun, 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 which is the Avatar theme. Dun, 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 and then all the bending come across. Oh, it was a great scene. And then this is probably my favorite Makaro, or I think that's what they call that ship, Korra Mako moment. But I could also do without it, but still a decent moment.
Yeah, I just picked like if you'd cut it off like when she just went crazy bending, it would have been like Inception or whatever. It's like, oh, just how much bending can she bend? I've been so excited. And then just cut it off right there. But yeah, you get the Mako kiss and the I love you at the end. You don't know what love is, you damn kids.
Yeah.
And then that is the end of the finale. I think it ends on the Mako moment, if I'm not mistaken.
Nope. She restores lens bending. That's the part I really, really loved. I was talking about. She restores lens bending.
Oh, right. I'm sorry.
And I feel like that's great character development between those two because when it starts off, Lynn is far more antagonistic, and now she's like, "Thank you." Which, when we get into season 2, this is why I hate certain things about season 2. Really the regression of character relationships, and this is kind of one of them. Glenn went a long way in this season.
And then steps back. I don't remember it well enough. I just
Yeah,
remember being grumpy and disjointed, maybe from the group.
yeah. And then Tenzin, calls her Avatar Korra, which is kind of just cements her status as the Avatar, as being a fully realized Avatar.
And someday, I'm very excited to see where this finale ranks against
Oh,
the
God.
other finales.
Yeah.
Very stoked. That is my attempt at a segue to the ratings. Are you ready?
All right, ratings.
Let's do
Real
these
quick.
ratings.
It keeps crying. It's so annoying. It's okay. Kids can be annoying.
It's part of being a kid.
Let me just say this: all tens.
There you go. All tens.
All tens. I love the audiovisual. The animation was so good, especially with General Iroh the second, with the bending at the end there. Really great stuff. The music was so good. Like I said, a great balance between hearing the dialogue and the music. Jeremy Zuckerman knocks it out of the park. Story, really good stuff. Like, holy crap, Amon and Tarlok and in their story. Lot of really good stuff. And then memorable. This is a really memorable episode. I mean, talk about the avatars coming back, seeing them all image. That's one of my favorite images in all the avatars. Seeing all the avatars there.
I can wrap this up and you can go take care of your son if you need. Just for your knowledge, I did 10, 9.5, 9.5. And the only reason I doctored it all was because the so much of the mystery, so much of the buildup was given away in the previous episode. Like, this really was like an 11 season long mystery almost. And then that's given away in the previous episode. But 9.5, hey, that's no slouch. If you need to go take care of your son, I will send us out of this one.
Yeah, he's fine for now.
Okay.
All right, you can keep going.
No, that's really all there is to it. The audio visuals. This might be the most audio visually interesting single episode. So not like a 4-part finale of Avatar: Last Airbender. It might be the most audio visually interesting episode that we have seen on its own merit. And then story and memorable. It really is great, and it's very powerful, and a lot of really heavy stuff happens. Maybe some of the heavier stuff. But again, it feels like the payoff for the whole season was really trying to figure out who Amon was and his motives and things. And that's all last episode. And I think they premiered together, but they're not a 2-part episode. And I don't think they should be a 2-part episode, really. Do you remember? Do they premiere together?
I do not remember.
I think they did, at least according. I don't remember personally, but I feel like when I looked at it on the wiki. But it felt that felt like the end of the mystery to me, and this was, I just didn't have that one little bit of edge that was already given away. That's all. 9.7. That's no slouch, and that brought us up to a 9.8, which I can tell you now gonna rank pretty high.
Yeah.
In the overall Avatar episode rankings. This one was a great one. So heavy. So heavy. I didn't have a place to talk about this. So I'm going to say it now, just there's no other spot for it. I was thinking about Bolin and how he is such a good bender. And I thought, well, that's because he's like a pro athlete of bending in real life. Like his professional athleticism paid off in reality. And I was trying to equate that to like something realistic in our world. Like, what's a professional athlete's skill that would then translate extremely well somewhere else? And all I could think of was I probably watched this like right after week 16 Titans game, and all I could think of was like having Derrick Henry in front of you in a crowd, like if you had Derrick Henry with you on Black Friday or something, and then the cashier was like seems ashamed to take your merchandise away, you're such a powerful runner. And I kept thinking of Derrick Henry scenarios, but no, I was mad respect for Mako there. No other place to talk about that. Really, really great episode for Asami, for Korra, for Mako. Bolin doesn't get a ton of love in there. That's okay. He'll come around. He's got a lot of action in season 2, doesn't he? In a very literal way.
Yeah.
Wait, Yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited for season 2. I know we've discussed, and I vaguely remember the sort of skeleton of what happens, but generally excited to get into it and probably
There's some
nitpick
things
at
I
it a
hate,
little
but
bit.
there's a lot of stuff that I love.
Yeah, probably
A
nitpick at
whole
it a
lot of
little
stuff.
bit, but no differently than we nitpick at literally everything else in this series. So I think that's all for now. Before we jump into season 2, though, we are going to do one more, I'm going to say spin-off episode at least before we jump into season 2. And we might even come back and do some rankings videos. So we're not going to jump right in, but we will get there eventually. In the meantime, my name's Shawn. That guy down there is my friend Chris Ford, aka The Objective Geek of YouTube and Twitter. And we also have Last_Podcasters Twitter and Instagram pages and a Facebook page called Avatar The Last Podcasters. Come check us out there. Now that the holidays are over, we will try really hard to pay some attention to those whatsoever. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.